Welcome to this Windows video. In our Back to the Basics episode, we are going to talk about slow computers, how to actually make a computer run faster. We'll have a few tips and tricks and also some, ideas of what you should do depending on how long your computer's been in the same Windows installation and so on. So first of all, there are a few things you can do if your computer starts to get slow. If your computer is slow, the first thing you should probably check for is the amount of RAM memory you have on your computer. So to check that, you can go into the search and just type RAM. And here you see View RAM Info. This is going to let you know what type of computer and the amount of memory you have. So here it says install RAM 8 gigabytes. So 8 gigabytes is the amount of memory I have. That is good and more than enough. If you've got more than 2 gigabytes, if you've got like 4 gigabytes, 6 gigabytes, 8 gigabytes, you don't need any more RAM. But if you're at 2 or below 2, if you only have 1 or 2 gigabytes, first thing you should actually do is to purchase or have somebody that knows what he's doing install more RAM into your computer. A typical Windows 8 machine is usually good at 4 gigabytes and up. Now, I don't usually recommend really much more than 4. I don't think anybody really uses their computer enough to have really an advantage of using more than 4 gigabytes of RAM. So 4 should be more than enough. So this is one thing that you can actually check for. Older computers, the first generation of Windows 8 machines, might have actually only 2 gigabytes. Some of the very low end and the machines that didn't cost too much at the beginning often have less memory. And that's a big problem because a computer has to compensate the lack of memory by using the hard drive, and that's why your computer will be slow if you have 2 gigabytes or less. So that's the first thing you should check for. The second thing you should go through is uninstall any unused programs. So right click on the start button at the bottom left, go into programs and features, and here check all of the programs that are installed. Uninstall any program that you're not using anymore. That's important because a lot of the programs that are actually installed can slow down your computer. One thing to be careful of, a lot of people, there's a lot of nonsense in what people say about computers. If your computer has a lot of files, a lot of folders, pictures, documents, it does not slow down your computer. That is a myth, because anything that is something that's, let's say, passive, anything that just doesn't really interact with your computer, a Word document, a JPEG image, or pictures from your camera, stuff like that does not interact with your computer unless you click on them to view them. So it doesn't slow down your computer unless you really have a full hard drive. Then that case could be a problem, but for most people it doesn't matter. In the program list, uninstall anything that you don't need, that you know what it is, and that's very important. People tend to uninstall stuff. For example, a lot of people will say, well, what's that little icon that looks like something that's kind of a game? Well, it's not. These are drivers for the machine. I would not touch that, of course. So if you're not sure, you can always Google the name of the software that's installed, because that will help you, of course, in having more speed on your computer, because by uninstalling programs, you uninstall also all sorts of files that Windows needs to load, for example, when it's starting up and stuff like that. So uninstall anything that you don't use anymore, or anything that's not useful for you in the programs. Then there's another thing that you can actually go to and check for, and it's the startup items. Anything that starts with your computer. So right click simply at the bottom on the taskbar on your desktop, and here click on Task Manager. Or if you have a touch device or you want to find another way, just go to the search once again and type Task Manager and go and see the Task Manager. There you'll want to see Startup. At the top you see the tabs. One of them is Startup. Check the startup items, and you know what? Disable anything that's not useful, and keep enabled the minimum of what you really need to make a computer boot up faster, because these are all things that actually slow down your computer at startup and also slow down the computer while it's working, because all of these startup items actually run in the background. So you can right click and enable or disable the different items, and when they are actually enabled, you always see the startup impact. You've got low, medium, and you've got the startup impact that's big or great. Make sure that what you have as a startup impact are mostly low, and disable anything that you don't need. When you don't know what you are disabling here, I suggest that you disable one by one. Restart your computer every time you disable something to make sure that you're not actually causing any problems. There are some programs that require the startup items to be there. So that's why there are things. For example, here there are a few Toshiba things that I sometimes will enable or keep enabled because they are better at making my Toshiba computer work. So by disabling stuff here, you should see big difference in the startup time and also the speed of your computer. What else can you do if your computer is still slow and you're wondering? Well, why not go and get yourself a good scan from either your antivirus. So I would suggest that if, for example, you're using Windows Defender, just get your Windows Defender, and why not make a scan. Click the Scan Now button and let it scan, just in case there would be something installed, a virus or a malware on the computer. Another good piece of software would be to go to malwarebytes.org and download the free version download of this piece of software, which is the really good anti-malware software. And there's the free version on the right, so you just click download on the free version, install this, and scan your computer with this also. Anything that it finds, you will remove from the computer by clicking the quarantine now. So these are all things that can actually help your computer run faster. Malware is terrible in the computer speed. Most clients that have malware, I've noticed the computer is much slower than usual. And you know what? If you're using your computer, I've been using your Windows 8 computer for many years. For example, my Toshiba here is the same install that I have since I bought it way back in 2012. So it is slower than it was before, although it's not too bad. And I know that one of the things that you might want to do to actually get your computer, especially if you install and uninstall programs a lot, if you've had viruses or malware in the past year or two, then what would probably be a good thing is to go into the refresh. Refresh your computer. There are two ways to actually refresh. One is without affecting your files, and one is remove everything and reinstall Windows. This is probably the one that I would suggest. Remove everything and reinstall Windows is the best thing. Just take all your files, folders, move them to USB key if you don't have a lot of them, or to external hard drive, and then you will click Get Started in the Remove Everything and Reinstall Windows. This could take a few hours, and then you'll have to reinstall every program that you use, every piece of software that's not there at the beginning of your reinstall of Windows. And also you will re-import all of your files and folders into the computer, but that is sometimes the only thing that you can do. So these are tips and tricks that can help you make your computer go faster, and hopefully they will and have helped you make your computer faster. And if all fails, well, the drastic remove everything and reinstall Windows is probably your best option, as it reinstalls a fresh copy of Windows that wasn't altered by all the software, malware, and viruses that you might have come across in the past few years. If you enjoy our videos, why not subscribe to our channel? You'll be informed when new videos are online. If you have any comments, questions, maybe you have a video, something you'd like us to make a video of to help you, let us know. We'll try to post that video online. And thanks for watching. If you've got that new Windows 8 machine, keep in mind that we have a lot of videos showing you how to use your computer to the max and how to use Windows 8. Thanks for watching and hope to see you again. Bye-bye.